Welcome to Google Ads Unleashed, the podcast that helps you harness the power of Google Ads. And now your host, Jeremy Young.
As digital and performance marketers, we're always looking for that another edge in whatever we do. And I think I recently discovered something really simple and just as elegant, which I want to share with you today. Welcome back, guys. Hope everyone is doing fabulously this Monday. Today I want to share something simple with you because I think demand gen is still completely underutilized in so many accounts, right? I see so many ad accounts which I've been auditing recently where there is absolutely not even a mention of demand gen as a campaign. Nothing's been running, or when it's been running, people don't actually understand how to run it and how to maximize its performance. So today I wanted to share a couple of tips how you can get the most out of your demand gen campaigns yet again, with one special tip which I've not even mentioned in previous episodes. So let's dive right into the basics first. The core issue with demand gen is that it is incredibly difficult to ascertain its performance. And the reason for that's pretty simple, right? Because of the sort of, how should I say, the tension between its attribution functionalities and the actual incrementality it brings to a business. I've done plenty of episodes about incrementality, about attribution, but essentially what I'm talking about here is you've noticed probably your brand search campaigns have a huge ROAS and great CPAs and all that sort of stuff. Their attribution is great. They capture a lot of traffic that is effectively converted on the site. However, it's not very incremental. It doesn't really add anything to your bottom line, okay, as much. You could turn them off and nothing happens to your revenue. Whereas with demand gen, YouTube ads and like Meta is the same, TikTok, etc., or radio ads, whatever, its attribution, that direct impact, like as in what it contributes to the overall marketing mix, is extremely difficult to measure and usually extremely poor on site, but it has really high incrementality, right? Someone sees a YouTube ad, learns about your brand, may search for it further down the line, and effectively you convert this person on a different way, right? And it adds more to the bottom line of your business because you're getting more new customers. So the core thing that needs to be solved is how do we measure its performance? And I've said always you need to triangulate three things on platform data. You need to triangulate, of course, some sort of third-party attribution tools such as Triple Whale. And number three is post-purchase survey data. But your post-purchase survey is the biggest weapon you have to understand how well YouTube ads perform for you, essentially demand gen ads. I've done an episode about that, so you can go and listen back to that, how to actually ascertain the performance of demand gen campaigns. So those basics have to sit first. Then, of course, you need good creative, right? There's nothing about this. Creative is king. You can always start by just repurposing the statics and shorts from your Meta ads. If you have an account or if you have a media buyer who does it for you, they should be able to put together even the winners of the past, and you can set up your campaigns. My recommendation in terms of setup, I've done an episode about this as well, but I'm just going to go through it again, is pretty much you want to have one prospecting campaign per placement, because in-stream versus in-feed versus shorts versus some of the image placements such as in-feed and discovery perform wildly different. And if you leave everything in one campaign, Google will allocate the budget however it sees fit, and they just perform crazily different. So I typically like to have one campaign per placement, one for shorts, one for in-stream, one for sometimes in feed, it depends, but not very often I run this in itself. I only do this for lead gen clients realistically when I have the right content, but I use it for image placements and for discovery as well. Okay, so typically I have three campaigns there, and then usually one retargeting that comprises all the placements as separate ad groups. Okay, the reason I do that is just to consolidate. I don't want to really have too many different campaigns and retargeting with such little budget. Okay. And the reason is, like I said, Google's not very great at distributing the budget. It's also not very good at sort of trying to have all the various ad formats tailored to the placements that it serves. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you launch an image ad and you actually launch it on, let's say, Instream, it just looks shit, right? So you don't really want that to happen because it will cause poor performance. Now, once you've got those basics, typically the audience that I target at the start is a lookalike audience, 5% balanced, exclude existing customers, and optimize targeting on. Once you got that running, you're actually in a good setup. But something that I've often seen, and especially in the recent past, is I think Shorts has very quickly become saturated as a placement. Okay, so in a lot of accounts, I've seen Shorts has steadily gone downhill and it's become extremely saturated as CPMs have more than doubled in just a year. Okay. And I feel that Instream is still an underutilized placement for all the Shorts content. And this is the trick I wanted to share with you guys. So recently I've had a thought as I was on my mobile, and it's as simple as I genuinely wondering why I've not thought of this myself before. But when you're on your mobile phone, if you look at any kind of Instream ad, like here, very often you'll have the 16:9 placement, right? And it'll show an ad here on 16:9. Well, on mobile, this is actually okay, but it's also not really as effective because you're not really maximizing the entire screen. We sometimes have video ads which unfold into like a full screen experience, right? Of course, now I don't have one on video here which I can show you, but you probably have realized this before when you've been on your mobile phone. A lot of people are on their mobile phone watching YouTube, that the 16:9 placement that you usually see actually drops down into a full screen experience in 9:16 or 4:5 on your mobile. So what I've been doing is I've been using YouTube Shorts content, so 9:16 or 4:5 videos, duplicating them into a separate campaign. And what I've been doing with that is I then select the in-stream placement and also make the ads tailor to the in-stream placement and target mobiles only with this and exclude desktop. And this has been working extremely well for me. So this is a tip I wanted to share. If you're only targeting Shorts at the moment and think, I don't really have the right content for Instream, you're wrong. You have the right content right at your fingertips. You just have to be brave enough to actually target Instream. So this is the tip that I want to share. Typically what I normally then do as well, if I identify a winner, duplicate these into new campaigns, into scaling campaigns with TCBA targets or TROAS targets. But this is the little nugget that I want to give with you today, and it just shows how we think about ads and that there's always another thing that you've not thought of or that you've not dreamt of, and you should really pay attention to that. And if you need help with your Google Ads, literally just reach out. Jeremy Young at Google Ads on LinkedIn. You'll find me there. You can head to the website younganddigital.marketing. You can send me an email there, jeremy@younganddigital.marketing, or even book a call. I'll take some time to listen to what you're up to and help you with your Google Ads. As always, hopefully this tip has helped. This has been Jeremy Young, your personal Google Ads expert, and I wish you a happy and productive week ahead.
Thank you for listening to Google Ads Unleashed. To connect with Jeremy, check him out online at www.younganddigital.marketing. We'll see you next time.